It's summer. That's probably not a surprise to any of you. Now, this past week has been delightfully pleasant, but a couple of weeks ago, there was no denying that it was summer. And I don't know about you, but all spring long, I kept saying, just wait until summer comes. And it'll just be some time to rest and relax and have some time to kick back, and things are going to slow down. I don't know what we were talking about, because Vacation Bible Camp comes the same time Wham Camp, Vacation Bible, they pile up there just every year. I don't know what we're thinking. Anyway, we've got this schedule in the summer, and yet we always, in my little sweet little mind, that if I could just get past Easter, everything's going to get easier, and it just never happens. God bless me. But anyway. So, there's this little thing in my mind that life's going to get easier in summer. And I remember for all those years of teaching and in the school district, even when I was working in the library, I just thought, well, once summer comes, life is going to become easier, and it never did. And so there I would always be. It would get to be this part of summer, and I'd be thinking it's time to gear up and go back to school, and what happened to summer? And so... of the many things my father taught me, and my father taught me many things, my father never taught me how to rest. My father would always be talking about when he retired. When I retire, Maria, I'm going to do this, and when I retire, Maria, I'm going to do that, and when I retire, Maria, I'm going to do this. And they were all awesome, incredible plans. And amongst them, my favorite plans were the fabulous deck he was going to build off of our new house, and this blown out fabulous workshop that he was going to build in our basement, because I had helped him build one in his basement, and all this stuff that was going to happen. And sadly, Dad didn't live long enough to retire, so that never happened, and so I never learned how to do that thing, that rest thing. And I don't know if it's true for you, or many of you, but rest is that thing that all of us need. And what we hear over and over in the gospel is Jesus calling his friends to rest. Over and over in the Gospel of Mark, we see that Jesus and his disciples get very busy. They're off teaching and they're off healing. And Jesus said, okay, let's now go away and pray for a little while and rest. And then they go preaching and healing again and taking care of the people. And let's get away and rest a while. And then the people find them again. And it's this repeated pattern. And so I picked out the verse for today that I read you, chapter 6, verse 53. And so I started working on it. And a lot of times when, in seminary, when they tell us to do our exegetical work, which is, just to start digging in the Bible and trying to figure out how we're going to prepare for a sermon, they tell us not only to look into the historical context, but look in the literary context, which is to really look where it sits, physically sits in the text. So, I back up some. In the immediate backup, if you want to open up your Bible to Mark chapter 6, immediately right before that is where Jesus walks on water. And then if you want to back up even more before that, it's where Jesus feeds the 5,000. And so in Mark chapter 6, verse 30, we hear that the apostles gathered around Jesus and told him all that they had been doing and all that they had taught. They'd been going around and they'd been doing some of the healing now, and it was pretty exciting. They'd been following him around, and things were finally starting to gel for them. Their ministry wasn't so much just about them following Jesus. It was about them actually being able to do some of the things that Jesus was teaching them to do, and that's pretty cool. It's like when you're a student teacher, or you're doing some of your early practicums, and you're actually out there doing some of this stuff, and you want to go back and report what you've just done, and you just tell them. And so he says, come away to a deserted place for all by yourselves and rest a while. For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. Because they'd been so busy, so excited, that they were even forgetting about eating and taking care of themselves. And this becomes a repeated pattern. You know, they get so excited about their ministry that what they want to do is go out there and take care of the people. And the people keep coming back for more because they want more of Jesus. They don't even know exactly what they want more of, but they want to be in his presence, because in his presence they feel this power, they feel this energy, they feel this comfort and compassion, and they feel that when they're with him, they are more whole, they're more okay. And so they want to be around him. And so, after this happens and he tells them to come around and let's get away for a little bit and let's rest for a while, sure enough, the people get wind of it and they start gathering. And they gather and they gather and they gather, and that's when it turns out that he winds up feeding the 5,000. And so, and we know it's just the 5,000 men that he counts. They also brought their women and their children, so it's probably 5,000 times 2 or 3. And so there's all these people, and so when his disciples say, what are we supposed to do? He said, feed them. And they gather up the fish and the loaves, and they feed all the people. And at the end of all this, he says in line 45, immediately he made his disciples get into the boat and go on ahead to the other side, and he goes up to the mountain to pray. And that's the night when, while they are on the boat, they encounter the storm. And while they are on the boat and they encounter the storm, they are terrified. And he goes out and walks to them on the water. Now, we're so excited about the fact that he walks them out on the water and he calms the seas. And a lot of times we just get caught in that. We get caught in this incredible miracle that Christ stills the storm. And we think, what a powerful God we have. What an amazing Lord that we worship. We don't notice that very last part of the sentence in line 52. But their hearts were hardened. They didn't understand what happened. They were terrified. At first they thought it was a ghost. When he climbed in the boat, they understood it was Jesus, but they didn't really get what had just happened. Their teacher, their master, had just stilled the storm. Everything was okay for them. He gets in the boat, and the next thing they know, they're on shore. So like this major miracle had happened where they had fed about 10 to 15,000 people, and as they're feeding these people, and the people are amazed. They had been taught by the master. They had been fed beyond their need, and there's all this food left over, and everybody's rejoicing and feeling satisfied, and they take up what's left, and he sends them off to be refreshed once more, to rest and be renewed and have their spirits rejuvenated. They encounter a storm. He stills the storm to show that God is still in control. God is still powerful. And he goes out, makes sure they're safe. They still don't recognize who he is. In the midst of all of the demonstration of what he is doing before them, they cannot imagine who he is, and they land on shore. He brings them safely upon shore. And what happens? The people keep coming back for more. and he doesn't miss a beat. He keeps on healing and caring for the people. And he keeps on doing what he has been called to do. He keeps on loving and restoring and making sure that the needs of the people are attended to. And this is this pattern that goes on, but we need to be aware that all the while he is showing us that we need to be taking this time to pause and to refresh and to take care of ourselves. And I can assure you, as I've been reminded by staff this week and by my family, that I'm not a very good role model in this. I don't always take very good care to take some time off when I'm a little run down, but we do need to take time to slow down, to refresh and restore ourselves after busy times. And that God has ordained these moments of looking around and soaking in the wonders of what God has done for us. You know, one of the blessings of last Sunday was the opportunity to look around and soak in the joy of what Vacation Bible Camp had provided, not only for the children, but for the adults and for the faith community. Because although it had been a week of great energy output, it had also been a week of great joy input for those of us who had participated. It was a joy machine. You know, there was great singing, there was great dancing, there was great energy from the children, and a whole lot of love being shared. My prayer for us as a faith community is that we continue similarly with the habitat build. You probably have noticed there are blessing boards, 3 2x4 studs out on a table in the atrium. I sincerely hope you will take the time to stop and sign them if you have not done so already. They are going away this week because they're going to become part of the wall that will be built next Saturday morning, starting at 7:30 in the morning. We can only send one volunteer to the build next Saturday morning because one representative from each of the 12 churches will be part of that build next Saturday morning. There will be a sign-up if anybody wants to do volunteer to bring some snacks or lunch. They're still having some technical issues with the sign-up for that, so if you do want to, let me know, email me or text me, and I'll make sure that gets through. And then hopefully they'll get that glitch taken care of. But everybody is invited to participate in the actual celebration of that, the wall raising at 2 o'clock next Saturday afternoon at 422. And I can't, Walnut? Whatever it says on your paper. But what each and every one of us can be doing is praying and surrounding the family. We don't have a picture of that family yet. I have been asked and have asked that we get a picture, and that will be coming. But we don't have it yet. But there is also on our webpage, there is going to be information. There is already information about the Habitat build and our participation in it, and there will be ongoing more information. My prayer is that as we continue to offer hope in the community, our hope will continue to grow. Because not only are we to rest, but then we are to act. And our participation in the healing of this community is what God is calling us to do. So as our faithfulness is blessed by God, I hope that we will be blessing others. If you have questions about the faith build or anything else, please don't hesitate to contact me. I am very much excited and delighted to be partnering with the other churches and for us to be partnering with the other churches. I know Alex is not able to be here this morning, but he too is able to answer questions. We are blessed. We are blessed with many gifts and people with many gifts and talents, and I hope that we are all able to share them in the many ways. You have done a remarkable job with Case Against Hunger. We're doing a great job in collecting goods for school supplies. We have been doing great jobs in all of the outreach ministries that we have been doing, and my thanks to you is abundant, and my thanks to God is eternal. May all the glory be to God. Amen.